Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP laptop model 17-BY3613DX. So this laptop has a broken screen, so I'm going to show how to replace the screen on this model. Okay, so like with all other screen replacements, you do want to disconnect the battery first. This one has a battery inside, so you want to get to that. To get to that, we have to peel off these rubber things. These things, they often will stretch and then be they won't go back down completely flat. So just keep that in mind. I will probably show that in the video. Hopefully it won't stretch too much. And then, yeah, so peel off these rubber things. Okay. So you might not actually have to peel it off all the way if you just peel the two edges of this bottom one, but this one you do have to peel the whole strip off. Okay, so of course first what you want to do is remove all the screws. So this is using a PH1 or a J1. So there's 1, 2, 3, all right, 4, 5, 6, 7, hopefully you can see this. 8, and 9, alright, and 10. So there's 10 screws here. Alright, try and keep them in order because some of them are different. Okay, so you want to put these in a, well, okay. So once you do that, once you remove this screw, you can actually pull the CD drive out. Okay, sometimes it'll get stuck. If that happens, you might want to flip it over and then pull it out. Okay, just like this. Same thing with reinserting it. Sometimes you have to flip it over. Okay, so we got that CD drive out. There are a few screws under here as well, so you want to remove these 2 screws as well. I need to reorganize my screws. Give me a second. Right. Sorry about that. I didn't want to risk getting my screws all mixed up. Alright, then you got 2 screws under here. Let's remove those 2 as well. Alright, once you got those screws out, then what you want to do is pop the bottom cover off. So to do that, I will open the screen slightly. Alright, this stuff has some customer stuff on it, so I don't want to show the whole piece, but basically, just like all the other ones, let's see here, there's a gap here between the palm rest and the base, so you want to get your fingernail in there or a pry tool, and then you pop it out. So I like to pull with my fingernails here and push with my thumb on the back, and then as you can see, the cover will just pop out, and you just do that all the way along the whole frame of the laptop. Okay, go all the way around, get to the side, same thing. Let's see here, it's getting a little bit tough. Okay, let's turn this around. Okay, just like that. Same thing, just go all the way around. Okay, this piece can sometimes get stuck, so looks like you push it inwards and then you can lift it out. So let's see if that will come out. It's a little tough, these clips actually. Let's see here. These clips don't seem to want to come up. Might just have to use a little more force. Come on, push it inwards. Yeah, this clip doesn't want to come out. You might have to use like a longer pry tool. Let's see if this will work. Nope. So it's caught under this, and it's tough to get that. I'm trying to push it with my fingernail. Wow, that's really stuck. Okay, so we will continue on to the other side then, and then hopefully we can just lift it out that way. Okay, so just go all the way around towards the back. Let's see here, does the back have hinges? That corner's really stuck as well. So it looks like we might have to find a way to pop this up. Okay. Make sure all the front hinges are popped, or the clips are popped out. Wow, these clips are super strong. What in the world? Oh, there we go. We got one of them. Okay, so keep going. Going around. Feels like there's actually clips in the middle as well. So that's probably why it's not unclipping very easily. Okay, so you might have to work it around and just wiggle the case. Alright, looks like part of that one came out, so let's try and get the other one. Come on. Come on. Doesn't want to come out. Okay, oh, there we go. It's coming up slowly. Just kind of got to work it, wiggle it. Okay, it helps to actually put some pressure on the inside, like push up, so that way it flexes the case up like this, and that pulls the whole shell inwards, okay? And that helped release those clips that I was having trouble with. Okay, the back ones, you might have to do it with the screen open. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. So when I lift it up and then I just pulled on it like this, it actually popped up. Okay, so this back one is a little stuck, so I had to kind of wiggle it and twist it a little. But there you go. The whole bottom cover's off. Here you can see it looks kind of nice and new inside. I think my customer said this computer, they only had it for like a week or something, and then they dropped it. So anyways, to remove the battery, just undo the screws. So there's one in the middle, upper middle spot here, another one here, 2, all right, 3, one in this bottom corner, and 4, one in this other bottom corner. Okay, once you remove all the screws, it looks like you should be able to just lift it up. Okay, lift from the back here, and then just pull it backwards. Okay, that's how you remove the battery. Battery model number, if you need it, is HT03XL. And then there's an HP spare part number here if you want that. It's L11119-855. Okay, so there you go. It looks like this battery was done on April 2020. So yeah, it's not too old, a few months. Okay, it looks like this hard drive and SD card slot are removable. There's just 2 screws holding it in place. Oh, again, after you remove the battery, you do want to hold the power button down. Be careful when opening the screen, because less screws are holding the hinges down and there's less material holding it in place. So if you open it too quickly, you can damage the plastic underneath. Okay, so just hold the screen, the power button for about 15 seconds. And then to close it, I just push down on the hinges just to be safe. Alright, so here you can see there's 1 stick of RAM. Alright, and that is an 8 gig PC4 2666V. So if you need to upgrade it, you can get another 8 gig stick to have an even 16 gigs and take advantage of dual channel memory. That'll speed it up. Putting uneven sizes doesn't really help as well, so try and get the same size. It looks like on certain models they actually have a slot here that can fit a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive, but they don't have the cable or the adapter for it. I'm guessing that's what this slot is for. It's not labeled, so I'm not sure, but I don't see a cable anywhere else. Then you got the optical drive connector here. It is removable, 2 screws. You can pop up the connector just like on these, and then you can pull the cables out. My main focus here is going to be the screen, so I'm not going to take everything completely out, but I'll show you here as well. There's the SSD. This is a PCI NVMe SSD, so you just take this 1 screw out and then it can kind of pop up at an angle. You can wiggle and pull it out. Alright, So if you wanted to upgrade this, you can. It's very standard M.2, okay, PCIe NVMe. The CPU is soldered down to the board, and then they put this red glue stuff to hold it in place. You got the trackpad buttons connected here, and then you got the trackpad itself connected here. You got the wireless card. There's only one antenna, so like just all the other models, you basically pull up from the tail to pop it out. Alright, the antenna will pop out. To put it back, just make sure, line it up. I like to run my fingernail over the top so to see if it doesn't move, and then that's how I know it's lined up. And then you can push it back down, okay? So let me put that back in place. This one's a little weird because there's not much slack and it's kind of like going at a weird angle, so it might be a little bit trickier to put this back. Let's see here, I might have to pull some slack out. Alright, so we'll get this, come on, go in place. Here we go, so we got it lined up. Alright, and then just push it back down. Here we go. Alright, then you got the fan connector here, and the fan does have the wireless antenna going through it, so if you do want to take out the fan, there are 2 screws here, but you also have to make sure to guide the wireless antenna out. I'm going to take the screws out just to make sure there's nothing else you need to remove to get the fan. And yes, the fan comes out, but again, be careful because there's the wire there. And then to disconnect the fan, I like to use my fingernails at the very edge of the connector and just wiggle it and keep wiggling it. Don't use too much force, and eventually it pops out just like that. So it's a little difficult to see where the connector is and where to pry it just because both parts are black. But hopefully you can figure that out just with feeling around with your fingernails. So here's one of the clips I was talking about that the middle of the case was getting caught on, so that's why it was kind of tough. Alright, but yeah, the fan just comes out with those 2 screws. I'm going to put those back. Alright, then you got the 2 speakers here. I'm pretty sure like all other models because yeah, there's the red and black and the white and black. So both speakers are connected to this one spot, and the cable runs underneath the board, it looks like. Okay, then you got the DC jack, the charging port here. So that's underneath the hinge. To remove that, you just undo the screws and then just pry up the hinge. Usually to get the hinge out, I will loosen the screws slightly, and then I just lift the board up slightly so that it pulls the hinge up, and then I drop it down so there's a gap. Once you do that, you can actually pry the whole hinge out. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, if you needed to figure that out, you can do that. Or if you have any questions, just let me know. Let's see what else. So then you got also the LCD connector here. If you're going to mess with this connector, again, make sure you disconnected the power button, the battery, and held the power button for about 15 seconds. Okay? Alright, so that's pretty much all there is inside this computer, so I'm going to go ahead and pop open the LCD. So again, be careful when you open this because now there's less screws and the plastic isn't holding it tight. So we got the screen here. Okay? Alright, now you just use your fingernails and pry this bezel out, just like this. Okay, this is very common with a lot of models. Sorry, it's going off the view, but pretty much you pull the middle of the frame outwards and then you push down on the outer frame so that it goes towards the center, and that's how you remove this. So if you know how to apply the pressure properly, as you can see, I just slide my whole hand down the frame, or as you can hear it, and then I can actually pop all the little hinges out pretty quick. I think this model I might actually have to remove the, yeah, I have to remove the whole screen. Okay, so we are actually going to do that then. Okay, so in order to do that, I like to rest the laptop. Let me see if I can show you this. So I like to rest the laptop here, so that way the hinges are facing up. Okay, hopefully you can actually see. Okay, and then make sure to disconnect all the cables that are going into the screen. So you will have to disconnect that. Oh, I guess I will show you the DC jack thing. And also the wireless antenna, I have to remove it because it's part of the screen assembly. So undo that and then guide the wires out from under this. Okay, guide it out from the speaker as well. Hopefully you can see all the stuff that I'm doing. Alright. Alright, once you got that, then of course you want to remove the screws for the hinges. So make sure that the hinge doesn't fall over, okay, or the screen. So we'll just take out the screws for the screen. They do have arrows pointing where the screws go back, just in case you forget, because one screw will be missing on this side and then one screw will be missing on this side. Okay. Alright, so we'll remove the 4 screws, 2 on each side. Okay. Once you got that, then you can lift the whole screen up and out. Be very careful. There's a little groove here. If you can see, that's for the wireless antenna. So when you put it back, make sure. And also this groove here for the LCD cable. And then also now, since I had to take this out anyways, I will show you the charge port is here. So you basically can actually lift this out, and then there's the cable, you just pop it out. So it's very simple. The only thing is there's all this extra slack here, so make sure when you put it back that the slack isn't going over the screw hole, because if you put it down and then put the screw, you can damage that. Okay, so we got that. I'm going to set this base aside. Alright, and now we will go to fixing the screen. So let's see. A lot of times these little bars on the bottom, you actually have to slide it. I'm not sure if that's how it is on this model. Let's turn this back. Okay, so let's see if it slides. It doesn't slide, so this one is actually held in place by clips, it looks like. Not seeing how you would remove these clips. Usually you would like squeeze this and then rotate it. It looks like that works. So what I'm doing is squeezing the hinge cover and rotating it back towards myself. Okay, and that, as you can see, the hinge cover came off. It looks like to remove the hinge cover you have to move the hinges into the more closed position. So I'm twisting the hinges into the more closed position, and then you can lift the hinge cover off. So here you can see all the clips. Okay, so the clips go on the front and the back, and yes, you do need to, it looks like you do need to take the whole screen assembly out just to remove this piece. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that there. Alright, and then to make this a little bit easier, let's see. Okay, I guess I can leave. I will bend the hinges back. Okay, be careful when you twist the hinges back, because usually the design of these, it's not very good because it's just a thin plastic. So don't like twist it too quickly. You want to do a smooth, slow motion. Okay, now that we got that, we can lift these pieces out. There's little raised portions that go into these holes to keep the bezel from coming out. Alright, so now we got the screen bezel out. Not too difficult. Then you got 4 screws holding the screen in place. Hopefully you can see. We will remove those 4 screws. Looks like all these screws are coming out with a PH1 or a J1 screwdriver. Okay, so just remove those 4. We're at the final stretch, so okay, just remove them. And hopefully after that we can just lift the whole screen out. Be very careful. This screen actually has a nice, like a lot of slack, but there are these little raised parts that kind of hold the cable in place. So when you move the screen, make sure that you route the cable around that when you try and lift it out. Okay, so lift the screen up. Okay. Oh, there's also an adhesive holding it down. Man, okay, be careful when you pull it. There's an adhesive holding the back of this cable, so you want to peel that up. You don't want to use just rip it out. Okay, so I'll do that just so I can flip the screen forward. Be careful because all these wires are in the way. Okay, alright, once you get that, you can see there's the adhesive here. They did this weird, usually it's just a rectangular, but it looks like on this one they did some weird triangle shaped adhesive. Okay, so, or trapezoid. Okay, so peel that. I guess it helps with peeling up the adhesive, so that's good. Alright, so peel the adhesive out, just like that. And once you get the adhesive out, try and use your fingernails towards the wings, just like the plastic connectors, and then pull it straight back, just like that, okay? You don't want to pull on this plastic tab too hard, or the tape adhesive too hard, because you can pull the connector up. All right, so now we will take the replacement screen. It has a protective coating on top. Okay, hopefully this screen wasn't damaged in shipping, because I don't want to do this a second time. One of the metal brackets that was holding this got bent upwards, so I'm a little worried, and also this board was a little bent. So anyways, put this back, make sure the connectors are facing up, the gold contacts, and then make